All right, welcome to 48 and 24. I'm pretty sure it's 1 a.m. in Eastern Time. I'm not even sure anymore. I'm going by a whiteboard. I don't know for real, but I want to welcome guest Matt Kane. Matt, why don't you just have you introduce yourself and tell folks what you do, and yeah, that would be a good place to start.
Awesome. I'm Matt, and I had the pleasure of meeting the other Matt at the Tech Writers at Society for Technical Communications conference in Atlanta last year, and I love your product, first of all, and I'm just happy to be here, and I'm just really impressed how you're just still going strong. I feel tired, and it's like 10 p.m. It's past my bedtime, and I want to know what you eat for breakfast. That's the first thing.
You know, actually this morning I did not eat breakfast. That was a problem.
That's the secret. That's the secret. But for a little intro, I'm a content strategist at Google. I help a team of writers deliver world-class masterpieces of help content to the billions of users out there, and mainly focus on consumer products. So really, my world is online help, and I guess hip-hop is not typically associated with the world of support documentation, but I've been passionate about music as an educational tool since, as long as I could start talking and rapping, and I guess it's carried through, and really been fortunate enough to have some opportunities at work to use music as an educational tool. And this little ditty that I created recently was just something I did on my own outside of work.
So, and in fact, that's one of the things that when I met Matt, I found very interesting, and I think it's something that probably most people know you for. I think we talked about that at Google. You're actually known as that, like in high school, was it high school or something that you did, like this hip hop thing, and that's how kind of the thing you're known for?
Yeah, for better or for worse. I don't know if it's a good thing or bad thing, but a few people, I was at a content strategy summit. Today is the International Content, the Intelligent Content Conference in San Jose today, and for some reason the only thing they remember about me is this rap I did about the element platinum from the conference where we met, Matt, and it was in a nutshell an assignment to advertise any element on the periodic table. I chose platinum, and some people chose PowerPoint presentation as a medium, others chose a report, but a parody hip hop song was my medium of choice, and Mrs. Degon still is proud back in Auburn High School in Massachusetts.
Well, that's awesome. So, because we don't talk a lot about using music. When we talk about music and screencasting or making video, we often say, oh, it's this underlying thing, right? It's this thing that maybe helps carry through, maybe feel a little bit of feeling, a little bit of mood, but it's not the drive. I mean, it's really not the driver. It might help with tempo, but it's not a focus. So for you, why is using something like hip hop, a means to your end of helping people to learn? Like, what about it draws you in?
Yeah, great question. I think there's a time and place for music for sure, and oftentimes background music should be subtle, or it just gets in the way of the task that the user has at hand. And I guess I think about tasks a lot because I'm in the world of online help, and generally a help center is not a sexy place to be, as much as I take pride in help content and delivering people like highest quality, world-class content. People generally are coming to a help center article to accomplish a task, get in, get out, and get on with whatever they were doing in the first place. So music can sometimes be distracting. I think that there are moments where a person wants to learn, a person wants to engage more, and also it's I think a good medium when you have a low-hanging fruit, a quick win, a quick search tip where all you need is a little viral capacity to get it stuck in someone's head and be like, or shareable, where someone's like, wow, this is really cool. I just want to share it with my mom. My mom might not know what Control F is. That just pains me to think that she might be scrolling down a page all day, and something like that where just a quick rap video, it's more of a memorization device, so something to help you remember it rather than necessarily diving into a complex troubleshooting topic.
Do you feel like and this is interesting because music can also often be divisive, right? It's not, not like I think about my parents, and the last thing I think about my parents listening to in the music realm is hip hop, right? Do you find that it actually does it ease people into a concept, or can it be kind of a wedge and they're like, I don't even know what this guy's talking about, I don't care, but this is weird.
That's a great question. I think, I full disclosure, I just love making these things, and hip hop and music in general, not just hip hop, but music in general has been a great learning tool for me over the years, and I know it resonates with a lot of people and a lot of young people as well. Whether or not it makes sense for every subject and whether it makes sense for every audience, I think not necessarily any medium makes sense for every audience. Everyone has different modes of learning, but I am surprised at watching the reactions of a lot of people my parents' age who see some of the videos that I put together and like, wow, like that particular search tip really stuck with me, and the medium was a hip hop user educational music video, and I don't even know if they're thinking of a particular genre. I think they're just like, this has a beat, this is good music, and it's only two types of music in my head, like good and bad music, and I hope unless they're just trying to brown nose me that they liked it. But I do think that it doesn't make sense for a lot of topics, and it definitely doesn't make sense for every audience.
So one of the things that you have recently put together that I think we should point out is that you actually did, this is not just theory we're talking about, you made I'm going to call it a hip-hop help video because the alliteration just rolls off the tongue. Your hip-hop help video.
I'm going to steal that.
It was about how to use Control F, in a browser, right?
Yes, it was basically a public service announcement, Matt. I was really distraught to go home when I live in San Francisco, go back to Massachusetts, visit my parents, and see my poor dad scrolling through a long list of race results. I'm a runner, an injured and semi-retired runner, but a long list of race results, and just said, man, how many hours and hours of time in his life he could have saved if he knew how to use the find feature on the browser, which, if anyone that's still tuned in at this time of night isn't familiar with, I definitely encourage you to Google or do a quick search for Control F feature.
Oh, we're gonna watch it. Don't worry. It might not be in the recording, but we're gonna watch this because it's too epic not to share it. So.
Epic is definitely a strong term, and I feel.
You know what, Matt? It's 1 a.m. in the morning. Everything is epic right now.
Yeah, I mean, compared to everyone else on this lineup here, Matt, I don't know how this doesn't really stack up. But I'm happy to spread the word of Control F. That's the most important reason I'm here, to help friends don't let friends scroll, I guess.
Well, I'm gonna counter it, even though you're my guest. The reason we want to talk to you, Matt, because this is interesting. I think, as you think across what people are doing, one of the things that makes all of our speakers that have been here really powerful is that they're finding their medium and they're finding their voice, and the commonality happens to be that they're using, whether it's images or video, to communicate. But what makes those rise up a lot is that they're using their own spin on it. Whether you're getting kids to teach teachers, or you're a weatherman, a meteorologist who is connecting with your local audience, trying to convey information, or making hip-hop help videos. It really is. It's about this creativity, and we want our audience to see this and know that they're not just, you don't have to make the same old screencast video. It doesn't have to be the same thing that everyone else has done to be successful and to have that be rich and informative. So don't sell yourself short, Matt, because I think it's very creative and it's well done. I remember when I watched it, I just thought this is great because it has that level of shareability, and sometimes if I told somebody, hey, like my wife, I want you to learn how to do this shortcuts, hotkey stuff, she might be like, oh, whatever, techie nerd, why do you keep doing this to me? But that might be a much more approachable one, which is really important.
Well, I appreciate it, and I also appreciate. I'm not just saying this because you work for TechSmith, but like the product makes it simple. If I can figure it out, and if I can kind of do a DIY scrappy video, I mean, it's scrappy. It's not polished, but I think it gets the job done. And you know, I've previous hip hop educational initiatives I've been fortunate enough to do at work. I've had like really knowledgeable tech savvy people helping me with a lot of the implementation, and the fact that I can do this, you know, with this software, and also GarageBand, which I have to say is a pretty nifty software as well. If I can figure out these things, anyone can do it really. And I think that's my larger mission here is like, I don't have a credible portfolio of hip hop classics. I'd love to do more, but I think my technical I'm learning as we go, like I think a lot of people are. But thanks to software like yours, it makes it easier for me, and I think the more I can inspire other people who have that technical know-how as well to actually go through the process of taking a concept and putting into hip hop, I think that's a powerful thing, or music, or some musical form, taking a convoluted subject and converting into a musical layman's terms is a pretty powerful learning process.
Well, Matt, we're going to wrap up our recording here in a second. One last question, and you kind of alluded to this, is, if someone's interested in doing something like this, like you said, it doesn't have to be hip hop, it could be, whatever genre, or they want to add this element of music that's a little bit richer than just background. You mentioned you use GarageBand. Any other tips or tools that you'd recommend here quickly about how someone might get going and trying their own?
Yeah, I mean, I think just first step is like going out and listening to the greats. And by the greats in educational hip hop, I think Bill Nye the Science Guy, Schoolhouse Rock. There's some awesome stuff being done by this guy Christopher Emden, who is partnering with this site called Rap Genius to get kids in New York to use hip hop as an educational learning tool. So I think like just getting excited about the actual, like, the real goal behind this is to education. But I think going on, and honestly, I'm not doing this as a sales pitch, watching a lot of the instructional documentation that Camtasia has on its site. And maybe it's because I work in the field of online help that I gravitate towards other online help, but it did a good job, and I thought the GarageBand site did a good job as well in terms of their help documentation. So that'd be a good tactical way to just get started.
Awesome. Well, thank you for the compliments. We appreciate it, and stick with us, Matt. We're gonna cut the recording, but I want to keep chatting. Maybe we've got to find that video to show. So everyone out there, check out, go Google, what was the best search term? Control F, help? Control F, Matt Kane. Control F, Matt Kane. Do Google search, find the video, it's on YouTube, you can watch it. It is really good and really informative. If you know someone who doesn't know how to Control F, they need to learn. So thanks again, Matt, for joining us, and we'll be back with more 48 in 24 coming soon.